come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the Diz Pod.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hello and welcome to another Amaze Diz episode of the Diz Pod. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone that's here on the live. We do this live because we do it for you. And I see Mookie Wilson up there in the corner. Oh, no. Or is it Lawrence? All Metsed out. You know, I love you so much that I don't even let that bother me as a Red Sox fan of 1986. If you're only listening, everybody, he's wearing a Mets jersey.
Mookie did other things other than hit a roller between Buckner's legs, you know.
Man, Mookie was the man, though. Hey, you'll be impressed. Who can I tell you? Oh, God. Mookie Wilson, Gary Carter, Calvin Schiraldi. No. Wait, was he a Met and a Red Sox player? Or maybe just the Sox?
No, I think he was just...
Who was the reliever at that time for you guys? Trivia on the spot.
We had McDowell, and the closer was Orozco, Jesse Orozco.
Yes, Orozco. I could see his face. I don't know why. I feel like maybe he looks like Calvin Schiraldi. Maybe.
You can see him his glove in the air at the end of the seventh, game 7.
Yeah, I can say that Mets Red Sox 1986 was actually the first time I ever cried watching a sport. Yeah, and I didn't cry much. That was one.
I'm a Mets fan, so I've cried plenty of tears, and not
I gotcha.
Only a few of joy, but so yes, so I am ready to go for my Mets tonight. They are losing 1-0 in the 6th, and Philly has 2 on and 1 out. So there is your play-by-play for the, or not a play-by-play, but a recap.
Yeah, that thing's going to 7 games for sure.
Well, it can't go to 7; it's only 5. But
well, then it's it's going to go to 5 then. Sorry.
All good.
I kind of bow out when the Sox are not in it, but I might be taking a 10% interest just because you're a Mets fan and you and Neil and I care about you, so I might even support you in that underdog. I mean, they are the underdogs, right?
Yes, they're the 6th seed, so yes.
I mean, yeah, and is Philly number 1? I mean, Philly was strong all year. Not that we're going to talk about baseball, everybody, completely. Just give us one more minute here.
I think they were the 3 seed, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah. So they started to lose it at the very end of the season, but they held on. They held on. Atlanta and the Mets couldn't decide who was going to challenge them, so neither one of them challenged them. So they ran away.
I got it. Hoping my voice clears up a little bit here. I sneezed hard just before we went live, and when I do that, it's always a question. Every time I sneeze, it's a 10-minute process. I sneeze, I sound like this, my nose runs a bit, and I'm like, oh gosh, is this the start of a cold? And then it's gone.
Hopefully.
I hate that about me.
So yeah, we have some baseball stuff. Yes, Dana, I'm a Mets fan. I'm not sure if anybody is aware of that, but I'm a Mets fan. And if you've been watching the live streams from the parks, I pop in at the end of the night and wave goodnight, and I'm normally wearing my Mets hat. So there you go.
Hello, live members in chat. I see Ann and Dana and Sharon and Captain Mickey Mouse. Let's see. Shirley Renee, long time no see. And my guy Theo and Shelby. Welcome everyone right there. So, should we start with the elephant in the room, or the elephant outside the room, or the elephant outside the building?
Yeah.
So I ended up being the person that worked the longest in my company. I just situated my schedule, so I was about 10 to 12 minutes from home. Real easy shot over on big wide main roads. So I got home, I don't even know, about 5. Yeah, about 5. So at that point, we've had some heavy rains here and there. Nothing too bad, and some gusts of wind. Nothing. There was nothing down on the road at the time I came home a couple hours ago. So far so good, but it's not supposed to hit landfall over there at Tampa. I think maybe in an hour and a half, something like that. And the overnight looks like it's really dying down. I think that we'll see about 50, 55 mile an hour winds at this point. But before we went live, a tornado did touch down in Fort Myers, which is not that far from us.
Not that far.
Yeah, and it did some destruction in a neighborhood, some pretty good, really good destruction. So always trying to, be conscious of that. I did post on Living in Diz an update, so I'll try to do that again later tonight and in the morning to let everybody know that we hopefully made it through and everything. So based on the current conditions and forecast, we're not that worried, but concerned, of course, paying attention.
Sharon, how's things out there? I know you're out in that area. I was talking to Neil last night, and he was saying that the chance of hurricane strength winds in the Orlando area were 30 to 50. No, sorry. Tropical storm was like 30 to 50% chance, and hurricane strength was like 10 to 20% chance. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, well, that feels a little bit better for that area. I don't know if it's changed since then. Hopefully, it still stays down to that level.
So you're breaking code. I noticed you don't have a button down on today, but we'll allow it here on the Diz Pod. I've got my tiki. I was gonna say tiki birds, but Polynesian. I guess I have my Polynesian shirt on today. I was feeling Polynesian-y.
Not worn a button down on the shirt on the show.
Like the full show.
Full show.
Well, I mean, you ask that, and it makes me feel like that we've had another one. I don't think we've had another one. If I had to take a guess, I would say like week 1.
No, week 1, you and I were in Hawaiian shirts. That's what started it all. We were like, hey, we were thinking alike.
Yeah.
I hadn't been talked about it, and that's what we came up with.
We were buttoned down.
For Dr. Disney, we didn't wear button downs. We wore scrubs.
Oh, yes. That's a nice trivia question.
Yeah, we wore scrubs. So for that show, and then for the award show, we had our tuxedo T-shirts on.
Well, I
but
thought of that, but it wasn't the complete show.
we started with a button down and then did some wardrobe changes. So this will be the second
Yeah.
time that I'm not wearing a button down in the 67 episodes of the show.
Got it. My teams aren't good enough to wear their respective jerseys right now. Oh, wait a minute. I lie. I could wear a championship Celtics jersey, by the way. I just feel like that's a championship. We got robbed. Tammy and I got robbed of this because we were on a cruise. And I was just begging for them to win this thing before we went on the cruise, and they didn't. So my next strategy backfired because I said, well, let's see. It shouldn't be that hard to avoid any news about this while we're on the ship for 3 days.
Yeah.
And we would have made it through if we didn't walk through late at night by the sports bar. I just happened to glance to the right. Jacob and I just glanced to the right, not really knowing what we're looking at, and saw it right there. I was like, oh my gosh. He's like, did you see it? And I'm like, I think I did. Then you try to fake your mind out, like maybe I didn't see that. So, and I still haven't gone back to watch that game. So I feel like we didn't win one. So we got to go back and win another one.
I gotcha. So originally we were going to do, well, we've changed the topic a couple times here, but
wasn't it like 4 times, like original guest, then different guest, original guest, different guest.
And Milton, looking for his red stapler, has just totally messed up everything. So Crew was going to come on the show tonight and talk about DVC, but he cannot come on tonight because of the storm. So I decided we're going to pivot a little bit, and we're just going to make it kind of a relaxed show. So see, I'm not in my...
I'm even sitting.
Well, he's even sitting. How about that? So he's sitting. I'm not wearing a button down. What's going on with the show?
Next thing I'm going to do is figure out how to pull my microphone back so I can put my feet up on the desk.
He's going to pull it out of the thing, just have it holding there.
Yeah, there you go. Just a real chill, laid back.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to Late Night LID.
So I did put a Zoom link in the chat. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to test this for Viewer Week, which is coming up in a couple weeks. And so if you want to be in the Zoom with whoever joins the Zoom, so say Roderick and Sharon and Alyssa and Mom and Ann, anybody else that's in chat, you can click the link to the Zoom and you can all have a Zoom with each other while still watching us. How about that?
Oh, how about that?
So
that is innovative.
Yeah, we're going to try that. We're going to test that out because that's what we're going to be doing for I'll post the link again there, Captain Mickey. So it's not coming through as a link, so you'll have to, I guess, copy and paste it. I don't know why it's not coming through as a link. But
that's right. Shirley Renee is out there in the Orlando area as well, and she says she's doing okay.
So she's doing okay. That's right. Good. Okay, so Captain Mickey, you're going to have to copy and paste the link into a browser. YouTube is not allowing it to come through as a link. So you have to copy and paste the link into a browser. And then you'll be able to go into the Zoom meeting. So, we're going to talk about some news. We're going to talk about, we'll end the show, of course, with This Week in the Parks, like we always do. We'll talk about some news in the beginning, which plenty of news to talk about. And then we figure we'll just chat about weather and Disney and how they deal with rain events, how they deal with an event like this, and kind of talk about how much it how much planning goes into what they have to end up doing. I mean, can you imagine running the largest or the most visited theme park in the world and having to pivot to what do we do now? I mean, the amount, I'm sure the planning that goes into it, but I kind of feel, I don't know. I mean, you and Sharon and Shirley that are all down there can probably tell me. I feel like this storm kind of came out of nowhere. Like it was just a couple days ago, and it was like, okay, here's the biggest storm on record coming for you.
Yeah, so we can let them answer follow up in chat. But for me, I don't follow this stuff that much, but I do feel like that's the way it happened. Like all of a sudden, oh, by the way, there's something big in the Gulf. Not like, hey, we're keeping an eye on something. We'll just see what this might do. It was just like, bam. Maybe we were a little distracted by Helene and what was happening at that time while this thing started brewing.
Mm.
And then it was like, oh, let's turn our attention. Wait, Helene, right? I said it right?
Yeah, you might be right. That could be part of what happened is we were so, still talking about all the stuff that Helene did that, this one kind of caught the general public by surprise. Obviously, Noah did not catch them by surprise, but I think it probably caught us by surprise. I'm going to try something here.
How wrong is
the Lincoln again?
How wrong is this? Steven Chat says the resort hotels are selling peanut butter and jelly sandwiches kits for $10 as food rations due to food service being down. Should you really be making guests pay for that?
So I have heard that and I might be able to find the picture. I have heard that many of the resorts have changed the arcades to free play. I'm assuming not the ones where the claw. I'm guessing those are still paid,
right?
But the typical games, the arcade games,
video
games, I'm sure that those are the ones that they turned to free. They had an entire day of events, bingo and trivia and stuff like that for the kids to do. So I think that they are doing a good amount. I'm not sure about what I think about peanut butter and jelly. It's just I guess to me, it would depend on what the kit is. Is it just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for $10? I mean, I don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so that would be a no for me, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm reacting to that. I don't know how I feel completely about that yet. We might have to think about it and talk it out. I don't know what chat thinks, or if you're listening later on, comment on today's Diz Pod. I don't know. I mean, families counted on spending money on food. I don't know. Maybe that's the best they can do in a pinch like this. And it's not very long, it'll be through tonight and
yeah.
Well, I guess tomorrow too though. So I don't know.
So Animal Kingdom and I believe Disney Springs closed at 1:00 today. The other parks closed at 2. So they, I'm sure we're able to get everybody out of the parks in a reasonable time, including the cast members, and get them to wherever they were going. I know that they did call in, what they call I think they call them the ride out crew. And I don't see Neil, but Neil would obviously know. So I know that they've called a lot of them in, and they will have them in the resorts to help with the guests, because obviously the guests are all going to be staying in the resort and not going out to the parks. So they have to have more people around. I would think, though, a resort like Coronado Springs, if you're staying in the right now the name escapes me, but the tall building, not the smaller ones. The Riviera, the Grand Floridian, the contemporary, where you are where the food and the activity will be, would be much better than, say, Caribbean Beach. Because if you're at
Yes.
Caribbean Beach, you could be anywhere. It's not going to make a difference.
I mean, let's talk about that, right? Yeah, Caribbean Beach, you have your room, and then it's 5 miles to get to the food court. Maybe, so that's a tough spot to be in a storm. Caribbean Beach, another reason to not go to Caribbean Beach.
And
I have my thing about Caribbean Beach.
So mom asks, hi mom. She asked, do the animals have a safe space to shelter from the storm? They absolutely do. So they all have indoor homes, and they are well cared for, and they will have caretakers, and they will make sure that the animals are fully taken care of before they decide to reopen the parks. The safety of the animals comes first, before visitors to the park, so you do not have to worry about that at all. They do a great job there. Look, I can see people joining the Zoom. So it is very very well maintained, very well done. But again, I couldn't imagine an undertaking of that. In fact, oh, there's Neil. See, I talked him up.
What's up, Neil?
I remember.
Neil said he might come on. And Neil is, if Neil wants to come on, let us know.
Yeah, Neil.
It's a relaxed stream tonight.
Yeah.
We're just going through the subjects, hanging with our peeps.
You can join through the Zoom, and then I can bring you on through the Zoom, so you can chat with everybody in the Zoom room, and then I can put you on the show. So I remember I was store manager at Food Lion. Those of you that know Food Lion, it's a grocery store, and we had a tornado warning close by. And so as a store manager, you start putting in that emergency plan. What am I going to do? What do I do with people if something happens? And the fire department came in to do their shopping for the firehouse. So they left with their stuff, and then all of a sudden they turned around and came back in. And I was like, oh, did you forget something? They're like, no, we have to shelter in place. The tornado is like a mile away. I was like, oh, okay. So I immediately went, locked the front doors, made an announcement telling everybody that the fire department has access to shelter in place. Go follow my customer service manager. He's going to take you to the warehouse in the back, where we thought that would be the safest place should something happen. And I took everybody back there, or he took everybody back there. Customers, the fire department, some of the fire department stayed with me up front, and they took the rest of the employees to the back, just to make sure that everybody was safe. But, you have to, in that minute where you're talking about the tornado, you've got to flip and think, what am I going to do? Because the safety of all those people are in your hands. So it did not come near us. There's a funnel cloud, and they saw it, and then they lifted the watch, and so I was able to lift the shelter in place. But right now it's I'm sure it's pretty scary, because you're seeing a lot of wind damage, a lot of tornadoes and that kind of stuff. So this is not a go to the parks in the rain type event. Not at all. So I was glad to see that they closed the parks at 2:00 today to get everybody out of there.
Yeah, and I'll say this. So, you can look at what Disney and the other parks, because Universal followed suit as well. Everyone pretty much in Orlando, I believe, did the 1:00, 2:00 closing. So I think you can take two approaches by it we'll just use Disney because that's what we do. Some can say Disney's so greedy. Disney's just trying to get every minute out of the parks before they really have to close. But I actually take it in the other direction, which is they know people have paid for these vacations and how meaningful they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think that they're taking the approach of let's give the people as much as we can until we can't do it anymore.
Right. Yeah, it's
because it's like that with the nighttime spectaculars, right? I mean, you really feel like Happily Ever After when we've waited 30, 40 minutes. Like they're trying to get it done. They
Mhm.
want to get it done.
That's right.
They don't want to send you home disappointed.
Yep. Yeah, they want you to see that show, especially if they've loaded, the fireworks. They want you to see that show. They don't want to have to set them off at 12 o'clock at night just to set them off. They want you to see the show.
Yeah.
So it's a tough decision when you're trying to decide what to do with everything that you have in your hands. But I think that they, for the most part, have made the right decisions when it comes to all of that. They don't close many times. I want to say I saw it was either 9 or 12 times ever that Disney is closed. Obviously, we know the extended one for 2020. They've closed other times for sorry.
What happened there?
Francisco, we're ahead 4-1 in the 6th.
Oh, okay.
Told you
All
this
right.
is gonna be a relaxed show. And then for 9/11, they closed obviously that day. But really the hurricanes really are the reasons that they've closed. And I mean, you've looked at what, 8 years now?
Yes.
And so you've seen a couple of these closures.
Yes. I mean, it seems fairly common to me. In the 8 years I've been here, I want to say I'm going to guess it's happened definitely twice, but I feel like maybe we've had one more of those. And of course, COVID, as we all know, closed the park down too.
Yeah.
Beatrice Garrido says, "Oh, I just lost it." She had a comment up there.
There you go. I got it.
There you go. Totally agrees. You're trying to give the best experience until some point. I'm sure that they do not want to put anyone at risk. And welcome to the DizPod, Beatrice.
Yeah, and you have a lot of things going on, right? You have the safety of the guests. You have trying to get people out of there so that they are not then lingering on the roads, trying to find this or that. So you figured if I close early enough and I close Disney Springs, then I've got, where are you going to go? You've got to go back to your resort so that, number one, you're safe. But then number two, I don't have to have all these extra manpower. I don't have to have all this extra manpower at Disney Springs, at the parks. I've got everybody just concentrated at the resorts. I'll tell you, when we were at Corey's favorite resort, Caribbean Beach, last time we were in Disney, we stayed at Caribbean Beach. And our last day there, it was cloudy, I think, when we woke up, and it might have broken up, and finally we had some good weather. And then it started getting cloudy again, and then it started raining, and Finley wanted to go to the pool. And I guess there was lightning close enough that they didn't allow the pool to be open. So the lifeguards came inside into the lobby and set up arts and crafts immediately. So the kids were able to sit there and color right by the TV. They were watching Mickey shorts, and I think something else might have been Bluey, and able to break out the coloring sheets that they gave them and just do something. So I think that they are very good at um, pivoting when they need to, because you don't want it to, it's still a vacation, right? And I know it's not like, I mean, you went to go to get to the parks, but it's still a vacation. So you still want them to have a decent time, even with this weather happening. And I'll get to know secondhand how this is, because an employee of mine, a team member of mine, is actually in the parks right now. Or not in the parks, because nobody's in the parks, but she's actually in Disney World right now. She got there on Sunday night. So she got to go to Mickey's Not So Scary last night. She did Hollywood Studios, I believe, yesterday. And then today, their plan was just to be ready for the hurricane. And then depending on what happens tomorrow, what time anything opens, if it does open, then she'll do that. But she texted me today and asked me about, if she could pivot her days off so that she could stay another day. So I think that's what's going to happen. So, would I have suggested canceling? I'm not one to want to cancel vacations, vacation plans. So for example, 2 years ago, which was, that would have been the first time we met you. Yes. So first time we met Neil and Alyssa and Corey and the family, we had to drive through that hurricane to get there. It had hit Florida the night before. We left North Carolina driving down to Florida. We drove through the hurricane in South Carolina and parts of Georgia. And then when we got to Florida, it was bright and sunny and 80 degrees. So we drove through the hurricane to get down to Disney World. People say that we are crazy. Catherine did most of the driving, which was crazy in itself for her to have done that. But we made it, and we ended up having a great time. So yeah, I'm not one for canceling, for wanting to cancel vacations.
Yeah, same. I've never been faced with a decision to cancel, but it would take a lot for me to cancel a vacation as well. I mean, you've counted on it, you've planned on it. It really stinks to have to go ahead and lose out on a vacation.
Would you buy travel insurance? Do you buy travel insurance when you travel?
I never have. It's a gamble that I take. Yeah. Anything can happen, I guess, but no, I always deny it. Like again, anything can happen, but we are not a family that really gets sick. So I wouldn't buy it for that reason. Like, oh, what if we're under the weather? I mean, somebody could pass away. I know that's something.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I lost my dad. Okay. I lost my dad unexpectedly 25 years ago, whatever it was. I had a trip planned to Florida, and I went like less than 48 hours to go or something like that.
Mm.
And the thought process was, well, I can't do anything about it here. Maybe it will help me to just get away for a little bit. And that's what I did. So I didn't even cancel for something like that. Everybody's different, Tammy's mom passed away, and we were clocking into Magic Kingdom with our magic bands, and we still went live that day because we felt like we just needed to. Yeah. So
let me ask you about that. Was that helpful? Was that the reason for going? Because it was helpful. It was a distraction. It was, was that the reason, or?
So this is a tough moment that people will see in the documentary film. You've seen it, right? So no, I remember. I'm sure Tammy remembers. Everybody, Jacob, Tammy, Jillian, we all remembered this very, very vividly. I was filming B-roll in front of the train station before you enter in with your magic band. So I said, hold on, stop. I want to get a little B-roll here. I want to do a little filming. Phone rings. Tammy goes, gets the news, and I just hear this like loud cry. And that's when I stopped what I was doing, and we huddled up and we talked about it. And I told her, what do you want to do? I asked her, what do you want to do? We can go home, we can stay, and it was all in her hands. And she said, we can't do anything about it at home, so let's just stream, and we'll go about it then. So I said, okay, you hang in the back with Jill. You guys have each other. You handle phone calls or whatever, and I'll put on a smiling face, and we'll try to get through this. And ironically, and it worked out okay. And ironically enough, we had to revisit it when we watched the raw cut of the documentary the other day. And I will tell you, Tammy can't watch that scene. She can't watch that scene. She has to look away. So, and understandably, she still can't handle that.
Yeah.
But that's another memory made that day. It was the first time we ever met Pamela V, and she knows that. So she was there for the tough moment too.
Wow.
But it helped to be in Disney. It helped, even though, Tammy's relationship with her mom, it was everything. And to get that news, she just felt like it was better to go to Disney.
And Sharon said it, everybody grieves differently. And even R. Roderick said, he went after a loss that he had. And, it's one way to deal with it. It's what were you going to do in that moment? There wasn't anything you're going to do except, go home. So you might as well, you might as well do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Neil says he thinks he was there that day.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I'll have to talk to Neil about that.
Yeah.
I apologize if I don't remember Neil there that day. Huh. Okay. Pamela would remember.
Yeah, Pamela would remember. So yeah, it's gonna get a little worse out there as the night goes on. So hopefully everybody, I know I don't sleep a lot, so I know I'll be up, kind of watching. Neil turned me on to
Yeah, I was texting you. I was texting you last night a little bit late, and Tammy looks over at me. She goes, "Is Lawrence sleeping?" I go, "I'm assuming not." I'm assuming not, because he doesn't go to bed too early. If I don't get a text back, then it's cool. But if he texts me back, then that's cool. That's even cooler. USC Greg will text me on the West Coast sometimes, and after a park night, and then I text him back, and then my eyes are closing, and I'm on the pillow, and then it dings again. But I told him I'll keep answering if I hear it, but as soon as I'm out too cold, if you don't get that return text, I return it in the morning.
Exactly.
I don't like to put people on silent.
Neil,
I'm nosy
to this interesting weather channel on YouTube, so I'm sure I'll be watching him tonight for a little bit. Yeah. So,
Shirley says she's not sleeping much tonight, so I don't think the winds are going to be strong enough to make those eerie sounds that you get with a strong hurricane. If anybody doesn't know, we got to experience Irma here, which was the worst hurricane on record for Florida, Central Florida. It was like a sound like this, like ooh, ooh, ooh. It's very eerie, and I'm glad that people prepared me for that, because I wouldn't have known what the heck was going on out there. So you know what I literally did? I put headphones on, and I put on some noise. That's the only way I could sleep all night. So if Shirley has some headphones she can put on and try to sleep better through the night, that's a suggestion I have.
And do you need noise canceling headphones, or were they just regular headphones that were able to block out enough?
Yeah, they weren't. They were Beats headphones, but I don't believe they were noise canceling ones.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Now I sleep with a set, um, that it's good that it goes through your phone because I'm not blocking out what's going on in the house because the Ring alerts will come through in my ears. I'll get disturbed from anything texts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if we have low sugar alerts go off in the house,
Mm-hmm.
we know it. I know it. So
Yeah.
it's a way to keep out the atmosphere, but not the important things.
Right. So Tiger Girl says the eye is coming on shore now. So yeah,
Okay.
you were about right. You said about an hour and a half till it hit. It's about 7:50. So
And the eye has definitely moved much more south as well.
okay.
And we're on the east, not the east, the north side, maybe I guess you would say, of the hurricane. So that's where you tend to get less tornadoes, I believe. But there definitely has been some that have popped up. Orlando was under a watch for a little bit,
Oh wow.
a couple hours ago. I don't know if Neil knew that, but Orlando was under a tornado watch, and it still might be in effect for a little bit.
Mm.
Not sure. But let me tell you, the devastation of that and the quickness is nuts because I had the local news on before we went live. And as soon as that went through, things calmed down and the news was on the scene. And they literally showed a neighborhood with no roofs and everything. I said to Tammy, that's amazing. You have your neighborhood, and a minute later, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had some weird weather. Finley was maybe 3 months old. It was Mother's Day weekend, and Catherine went to take her family back to the airport. So they had just gotten on the highway, and all of a sudden it was pitch black. And this was middle of the not even middle of the afternoon. It was probably like 11 o'clock in the morning, and pitch black. And they start getting hit with softball-sized hail. Softball-sized hail. Like, I have pictures of my car. And so we lost all 3 cars, 40% of my siding and my entire roof, had to be replaced. And that storm was 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Wow.
So
the power of Mother Nature is amazing.
It's absolutely incredible, and that's why I'm really glad. I think that there were plenty of people who, heeded the warnings that they had been putting out all week. Of course, all the Facebook groups that I'm in, they were talking about, should I change my plan? Should I cancel my plans? And a lot of people were like, listen, Disney will be here next week. It'll be here next month. It'll be here next year. Do what's right and, cancel your trip. They're giving refunds. I know Disney was. I'm sure the airlines were. I couldn't see them not giving refunds or at least credits for something like this. I mean, heck, the airport closed was it today or yesterday? I feel like it was this morning, like early, like 8 o'clock. They closed.
You know what? I don't know. I was trying to think of when when I go from one patient's home to the next, a lot of times they have their TVs on. I think it was yesterday. They had the news there kind of showing the crowds, people leaving. They may have been there too soon because it looked like it looked less than a normal departure day from Orlando, to be honest.
Wow.
Whenever we go, there was at least another third amount of people there. It wasn't that bad when they showed a shot of it yesterday morning, and they showed a shot of the screen, and all but 2 flights were on time too. So things may have been pretty flawless. Thankfully, over there at the MCO.
Jill, I remember you telling us you were going on a cruise, but I don't remember which one. Tell us which cruise it was again, please.
Oh, what, Jill?
Yeah.
No refunds on our cruise, so we should be okay for Saturday. Yeah, everything will be gone, so you should be good. She's going on the Icon of the Seas,
Ah, okay.
Royal Caribbean.
Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
MCO closed this afternoon, says Captain Mickey.
This afternoon. Okay. Yeah. Which is obviously going to cause a bunch of chaos for the next couple days out of the airports, because you're going to have all these people that were scheduled to leave today that have to wait until tomorrow or the next day. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have total backups for, I would say, probably 3 or 4 days. My brother was stuck in Vegas, if you remember, a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Their big thing with the airlines, all their systems were down, and so he was stuck out there. They were supposed to come home Sunday. He couldn't come home until I think late Tuesday night. Um, and then it was just a total backup, because now you've got 3 days worth of people trying to leave Vegas, which is not small, right? And you've just got to keep getting all these planes in, all these planes in. So I'm sure the airports are not going to be fun. Not that Orlando Airport is ever really fun to leave.
Never.
So here's my pro tip number 896. Get TSA PreCheck or Clear. We have TSA PreCheck. It's $80 for 5 years, and it is so worth it. So worth it.
Is that per group or per person?
That is per person. However, your children are included. So Catherine pays 80, I pay 80, Finley pays nothing. And she just gets her TSA PreCheck because of us. So,
well, in a few years, travel and meals and everything is going to become a lot cheaper by 50% for Tammy and me. It's just going to be Tammy and me.
I was going to say, what?
So,
what do you know that I don't? Yeah. Yeah.
We got that the kids leave the house, the kids leave the nest deal.
Yeah.
I don't want it to happen, but it's inevitable. Susie Q, listen. Susie Q says the line from Gideon's was still around the building today.
No.
And I did see that. I saw that on social media. But listen, we're all crazy. And that's why we're in this community together, and we love it and we know it. We're all crazy. Like, you got to get those Gideon's cookies. You know, I guarantee all those people were on vacation and they're like, we're getting out of here or whatever it is. We need to get those Gideon's cookies. We're going to be hunkered down in Caribbean Beach, and we're going to have to walk 5 miles for a snack. I'll wait 2 hours for Gideon's.
Wow. USC Greg says that Clear is usually included with a lot of credit cards. So check your credit card benefits, see if that's one of them. Because that is.
I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I have one that may possibly allow that. I have to look.
Gotcha. Yeah, we did it, and at the time I'm like, we're here in Raleigh. I know we're getting busier, but Raleigh is still not that busy of an airport. But it's not always Raleigh that's the issue, right? We fly to Orlando all the time. We fly to New York. JFK and LaGuardia are not small, non-busy airports. So, totally.
Yes, we flew into LaGuardia. I think it was LaGuardia. Was it LaGuardia, or was that time? Oh, I can't remember. It was Boston or LaGuardia. I'll have to ask Tammy. It was a dumpster fire. Let me tell you, it was people fighting to squeeze into these buses that would transfer you somewhere else. I thought there were going to be fights, trying to get your luggage onto the bus and squeeze people in, and people pushing our kids when they were younger. Yeah, it was not fun. Our best trip was this. So if you live in Maine, if you live in central Maine, if you leave, or Doesn't even have to be central. It can be south too. Southwest, maybe even Allegiant did it. Southwest may do it too. If you can fly from a small airport in Maine, like Bangor, you do Bangor to oh gosh, I'm going blank. What's the alternate airport here? Help me out, everybody. I'm just going blank. Starts with an S. Not MCO, not Orlando. What's the other spot?
Oh,
That spot. It's such a small airport.
Sanford?
It's easy on, easy off. Sanford, thank you. Yeah, back and forth. Very easy. And I'm sure that listen, I know that other airports might fly. If you can fly into Sanford, everybody, do that. Like if you're going to rent a car anyway or whatever, you could probably get transport, right? From Sanford anyway to Disney as well. They'd have to look at it, but if you could, I recommend that over MCO.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of times. Catherine will have to tell me where her sister flew in because her sister couldn't get a flight to Orlando, so they flew to somewhere else. It might have been Sanford, and then they rented. Oh gosh, it's the rental car where you're renting somebody's personal vehicle. Can't remember what it is, but they did that to drive over to Orlando.
Captain Mickey, unless something has changed, I guarantee you that Allegiant flies out of Bangor all day long. Not even all day long because it's not every day they fly. But we absolutely flew into Bangor because it was 10 minutes from my house. Can't forget that. No, it was more like 15, 20.
Neil, I agree
It
with
was
you.
easy.
At MCO is phenomenal. We don't fly JetBlue often, but we did one time into there. I was like, oh man, this is really cool. It was nice and smooth. They have their own terminal. It's all brand new. You don't even have to take the whatever
that stupid monorail deal
thing is. Yeah, you just walk right out. Yeah, it still smells brand new, like a new car. Yeah.
Nice. And they name their planes like cast members name their bats on their heads during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
I love that the cast members do that. I just think it's so cool. You know, a little bit of their own personality. You know.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you have questions for us, put them in the chat. We'll certainly answer them if we know the answer. If not, we'll make one up on the spot. No problem. We're good for that.
We're good at making up answers. We're good at we don't make anything up.
We're good for that. How much popcorn is sold? 34 tons a day. I don't know.
Enough to pay for Happily Ever After.
Enough to pay for the fireworks. That's right. That your answer will always be enough to pay for the fireworks. Yes.
Yes. There's a new, well, I say new. I think it's probably been out for a few weeks. I want that alien sipper right from where you can purchase the Num Num cookie.
Do you know
There's an alien
Num Num cookie?
What?
I know. I need to have one.
But you've eaten a Wookiee cookie. This is just wrong.
I have. I've had a Wookiee cookie. I have not had a Num Num cookie. I need
Unbelievable. Well, yes, you do. Next time we're in Hollywood together, we are having a Num Num cookie.
All right.
You can't beat a Num Num cookie. It's served warm. It's like a baby pie, and it's crispy on the edges, soft in the middle, big fat chunks of chocolate. You can't beat that. You can't beat it.
Neil, do you eat Num Num cookies?
No. Neil is Captain Bizarro. He does everything different from me.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see us when I saw that new Guardians of the Galaxy t-shirt that I ended up buying? It's almost like I unofficially called dibs on it, and he goes, oh, well, I can't buy that shirt now. We can't be caught in the park wearing that together. We can always arrange when someone's going to wear it.
Things.
Shirley Renee has never had the Num Num cookie either.
Neil.
Yeah, so
same time.
What?
He said things are terrible and great at the same time.
I plan on buying that sipper on Saturdays at Hollywood Studios this week. And I will get a Num Num cookie while I'm there.
That's a good question from USC Greg. What do you think of the new Cake Bake Shop prices? Have you seen them?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I scanned across it a little bit. I think some things are Disney priced, which means pricier than the real world, but you accept it. Like a mug is $24 in my world. But if I go to the mall and buy a mug, it's going to be $12. And I go, what a deal. So I think there's Disney pricing, meaning you're going to pay a little more and you expect it. But then there's outrageous pricing for certain things. I think there's affordable things you can get on the menu from what I remember from a glance. But there's a lot of things that you're going to drop. So
let's see if I can bring up the menu for you. It is certainly interesting.
You're going to drop some cake.
Oh, is that why it's called the
Oh,
cake?
right now I'm putting together a flight for Captain Mickey from Bangor to Sanford.
Oh, boy. Oh, Disney does not... I can't find it on the Disney site.
And what?
Okay, I think we're back.
I'm getting a little bit of lag on my end. Are you?
Yeah, I think we might have lost everybody for a minute. Let me see if it comes back.
I'm a little laggy. And I don't know if...
Although the Zoom didn't seem to leave. I think the Zoom was always there. Let's see, I'm watching the feed now. Yeah, I see that, Sharon. By the way, I can hear you guys in... All right, I think I am back. Let's see if Corey's back.
I believe I am.
All right.
We back.
That was very weird, but who knows what we're going to experience tonight. So we'll all just get through it together. How about that?
The weird thing was that I thought it was on your end, which was weird at first. Was it? Did you discover that it was something with you too?
No, I don't. I have no idea. I wasn't getting that. I'm not even Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired in.
I'm not Wi-Fi either.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's all right. We're here. Yeah, Catherine says the
Yeah,
weather
we're
is great here. It's pretty good. Oh, no complaints from me. All right. So where were we? Anybody remember? What were we talking about?
I had said that might be a little bit of price gouging right there by the Cake Bake.
Yeah.
With, some of those prices. It's like, come on. You're charging it because you know you can get it. Okay, I get it. But come on. $34 for some crab cakes?
Yeah, I can tell you legally it is not price gouging because that is a legal term that talks about, taking the price of gas from $2 to $17 a gallon during a storm, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you I probably will not be eating there. Just, I have other things that I can do with that type of money.
Yeah, it's not good cost effectiveness for certain things when you're doing something for a channel, right? I will never forget the corn dogs. Please go watch
Right.
that video, everybody. If you haven't seen that corn dog video, can you please help me pay the
Yeah.
bill?
I was gonna say,
Seriously.
get some ROI on that video, yes. Just go watch that video to help pay for the corn dogs.
Listen, when I look at it from a business standpoint, right? And Goofy Guy is going to agree with me on this because we know that he works for another YouTube entity. So I'm going to say this. I looked at the pricing. When we set out to do that vlog on the new corn dog stand, I was blown away by the prices.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, $15.50 for a corn dog. Crazy. Well, I think it's good, fresh content for the channel. So I'll invest.
Mm-hmm.
Not only will I invest for one, we just can't do a review on one. We've got to get at least two. So we got two. So I dropped probably $40 after chips, or whatever that came with it. So yeah, if you haven't watched that video yet, please go back and watch it or play it multiple times so that we can make back our $40 on that video. But when I invest in a video like that, I'm not just thinking it's for just that one. I like to think of it as building momentum, right? If it hits and you get enough people watching that one, then more people will watch the next one, then the next one, then the next one, and then it pays off.
Right.
I'm looking at it again. There's a new menu over at Jacques Lindsay's, and I want to go try that. I think it'll be a good vlog to do. But again, that's probably going to cost me, $50 or $60 for hors d'oeuvres for
And
that one.
where is that? Because when you mentioned it to me the other day for the first time, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what he's talking about. So, I'd never heard of it.
I'm shocked, but I'm happy to share. So let me guide you through. If you're standing in line for Gideon's for your cookies, all right, you're
Which I've
there.
done
You've
that.
been there.
Just don't stand in line for cookies, but okay. Standing in line for Gideon.
Yes, you're about to get called to go into Gideon's.
Okay.
Right? So you're facing outward. Your left side is facing the door for Gideon's that you just can't wait to get into because it's been 2 hours in the sweltering sun. And you open your eyes and you look past the attendant there, and it's straight ahead. If you just crossed the way and walked continuously straight ahead, you're going to walk right into Jock Lindsay's.
All right.
It's across from Gideon's, opposite side. Not where Wine Bar, where Wine Bar George is?
Yes.
Okay. So you've got Gideon's on your left, Wine Bar George on your right, straight ahead, Jacques Lindsay's. And I did a live stream with Victor Naraki a few years ago. We had some dinner there, and we were live, and he hung out with me and had some wonderful hors d'oeuvres there on the water because they have a dock area too back there you can actually sit out on. So, try it. Look at the menu, see if it's something you guys would try. But again, that's another vlog I want to do, but it's going to be costly.
Mm-hmm. Dina says she highly recommends Jock Lindsay's.
Mm-hmm. Who did?
Disney Dina. Goofy Guy says Jock Lindsay's is great-ish. Great adjacent. All right. I'll go with that. Goofy Guy also says $18 for buttered noodles, and USC Greg said it was $18 for Children's Grilled Cheese. This was.
He'd rather take the corn dog. I would agree with that. The corn dogs were good. I'm not going to knock them. The corn dogs are good. The price was just a little crazy, and it's Disney, right? So, what price do you accept? What's an acceptable price for a big fat corn dog that's going to be a little more unique than you're used to? I was thinking more, and again, it's only like $3 or $4, but I probably wouldn't have been taken aback if it was $12.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what the food at Casey's is. Do you remember, how much that is?
Oh, a Casey's dog? Oh, yeah. Well, listen. Well, there's not a lot of. I don't think there's a big difference in price. Y'all can fact check me, but from a foot-long hot dog at Casey's compared to the 6-inch, I guess, I really only think there's like a $2 difference, maybe off the top of my head. So I think for like 14 or 15, that's when I chowed down on that foot-long, just full of a whole nother meal sitting on top of it. I think they serve you that hot dog, and it's family style. They put all the stuff on top of it, and then you eat all that, and they'll bring you more If you want some more, they'll just put it back on the hot dog. You don't even have to eat the hot dog yet.
Breaking news. It is the top of the ninth with 2 outs. 2 outs. Men on first and third.
But do we have a score?
4-1 Mets.
Crazy stuff, man. It's
4 to-
crazy.
First and third, 2 outs. And Schwarber's up. Oh, what a day. Yeah, very cool. Oh, Sharon, perfect example. She says, think about going to a baseball game. I mean, what's a beer cost at a baseball stadium? I mean,
I never get one, but I think that could be $14.
Yeah, I was going to say about 13. Yeah, you're probably right. It's and in New York, it's probably $15, $16. So, yeah, it's Lawrence Kibler. We share a name. We obviously do not share our love for the Mets. Because he said boo Mets.
I see that.
By the way, if this happens, and the counts now 1 and 2, if this happens, this will be the first time that there has been, I believe, I heard this correctly, that this will be the first time that the Mets have clinched anything in Citi Field. Because Citi Field has been open since 2009. They went to the postseason in 2015, and they just clinched. They are going to the championship series with a strikeout of
Wow. Well, congratulations, my friend. I don't have a dog in this fight, so congratulations.
Thank you. That was it's great. If I could find my clip of the Mets song, I would play it right now, but I can't find it. So, yeah, I'll save Corey the. I'll spare him the audio.
I was gonna say, sorry, sir. This is a Disney podcast.
Yes, we've moved over to sports. We'll venture back over to Disney. So, wow,
what a failure for the Phillies. You know they thought they were winning the whole thing with that group.
And the Mets were at one point 11 games under 500. 11 games under 500.
Sometimes it's just all about coming together and getting hot, and they're hot right now.
Yep. You know who was thanks to? Grimace.
Grimace from McDonald's?
Yeah.
What did he do? What did he do? Did
game.
He feed them all a Grimace shake?
No, it was a game where he threw out the first pitch. And that was it. It was like the turning point for the entire season. So that Grimace has become their mascot. Not to take anything away from Mr. Matt. He's still the top dog. But yeah, Grimace has become this thing. It's incredible.
Well, from now on, I want to see Grimace on the dugout in between innings.
Yes.
Giving away coupons for McDonald's milkshakes.
T-shirt launch.
Did you know? You're not going to know this. You ever ask somebody something you know they don't know, but you say, "Did you know?" So I'm going to say, "Did you know that some bozo on my Ring app for the neighborhood a couple hours ago asked if DoorDash was running?"
Well, is it?
No. They shut Uber Eats or whatever. They shut down the app finally. Come on, man.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine how busy they would be right now? Right? Because everybody's like, well, I can't be on the roads, but I still want to order the weirdest stuff. So I'm going to send somebody out there to go do it. Yeah, it would be insane.
I mean, I'm all for if you want something, you go for it. But even I would be like, I am not going to put some person in danger because I want a Big Mac or Chick-fil-A.
No. You want a crazy? I told you guys this was just going to be an off the wall show. You want a crazy Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever it was that Grubhub, I don't know what it was that I ordered. So a lot of times we will go into Disney and we don't rent a car. We use Mears Connect to get there from the airport. So we don't have a car. We don't have transportation. And we were hungry. We didn't eat at the parks. We got back. We were at Animal Kingdom Lodge and we ordered whatever it was. And the only real place that was open that you could order from was McDonald's. So we ordered McDonald's. Who knows how much it was? Probably $40. So I go downstairs to meet the guy. I'm waiting in the lobby. Nothing. Finally, I get a thing on the app that says it was delivered. And I'm like, I'm standing in the lobby. Where was it delivered? So I go outside to Bell Services, and they're like, yeah, there was a guy here, but he left. So, no, Catherine, I think IHOP was the other one. Wasn't IHOP the one in Miami? Maybe it was IHOP that we ordered. So so I'm standing there. I call them. I'm like, hey, where's the food? He's like, I left it. And I asked Bell Services. They're like, he did not leave it. He took it back with him. He took my food.
What?
Took my food. I was like, what? So, and by the way, it's like 1:00 in the morning. So I called, I messaged them or whatever I did on the app, and they did give me a full refund. But I called the guy. I'm like, you did not leave are you telling me that the Disney cast members are lying to me? He's like, no,
Right.
I left it right there on top of the trash can. They were like, no, he did not. He left. He got out of his car, turned around, and left. I was like, okay.
It is acceptable for us to eat a beautiful piece of steak in Canada off of a trash can, but it is totally unacceptable for an Uber Eats guy to leave someone's food on a trash can.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, Dina, we were still hungry. Yeah. I think
Yeah, you were left
I had
hungry.
some snacks from the park or something like that, but I needed something with a little substance. So yeah, you can bet breakfast that next morning. Yeah, we chowed down that next morning for sure. I was starving. So yeah, when we talk about DVC, that is definitely going to be a plus because when you're at DVC, you've got full kitchen, you can cook your food, bring as much food as you need to. You got a full refrigerator. So we did stay at Old Key West. We didn't do it through DVC; it was available just through Disney. But it was so great because there were, I don't know, 9 of us, I think. And we were able to go out to Walmart, load up the kitchen, and, feed everybody for the whole week that we were there. So love staying in a DVC resort for that reason, for sure. Yeah, totally unacceptable. Whatever his name was, Steven, Pedro, I can't remember. Yeah, he enjoyed my IHOP. Hopefully, because I always order a big steak omelet with no mushrooms because I don't like mushrooms. So hopefully it had mushrooms in it and he doesn't eat mushrooms. And he's like, oh, what is this? And he just had to taking my food. What do you think happens with that? Do you think he gets docked that money since they had to give me a full refund? I wonder.
I would think so. And who talks to you? Like, do you have a supervisor?
I don't
You
know.
know,
Anybody in
I don't know
chat
how that all works.
or Grubhub or anything? Let us know. We're interested.
Yeah, I don't know what happens with that.
Yeah.
I also don't know how much money these people get because I saw a new one today. There's a cleaning company now. You just pop on the app and they'll clean your whole house, and it's like $19.
$19.
Yeah. Yeah, $19, and they'll go right through your house and clean it spick and span. So I'm thinking, all right, $19, but you're showing a whole crew in the house. Like, how much does everybody get? Like, how do you make a profit? How does everybody shine.
You know what I just thought about? You talked about a crew in the house, and I thought about the Verbo that we stayed in, where they went
I
in,
always think of the Verbo. That was amazing.
except for the linens that you stole.
Oh, Disney Dina knows what I'm talking about. She says, I think it's $19 for the first use. So you give them a try. It's in the fine print.
Ah,
Ah, sneaky, sneaky.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When we stayed at the Verbo, Tammy and Corey stole all the linens.
Yeah, we did. We got accused of that.
Yeah, they called me after we left, and they were like, "We're missing a set of linens." I'm like, why? Why would I have wanted your? We paid like thousands of dollars for for this Verbo. Why would we have wanted your linens? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. Yeah. So we always talk about that.
Oh, yeah. So Purple Pleasure says, no, it's $19 for the first time. And then it's a subscription that you can't cancel. And it is
Oh,
more.
see, yeah. So kind of like a test, but then yeah, you're already signed up, and you got to keep going. Anne says it was the initial visit. It's advertised on TV there. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's good marketing. Hey, $20, get us in, and we'll see if we can capture you. People have to watch out these days for the things they're signing up for, though, because I think what they're doing is they're sneaking in things as a subscription,
Mm,
and then people are getting charged the next month, and they're like, "Wait a minute, whoa! I thought I just made a one-time purchase." So always be careful. Read the fine print
mm-hmm.
with that. Like I just had one happen where I bought Adobe Audio, I think it is, so I can work on some voiceover work. I haven't had time to figure it out, so I'm wasting money here month to month. But so I was like, "You know what? Until I have time, let me just cancel it." But I read the fine print and it said, "Well, no, you paid for a year. So there's a cancellation fee. Whatever you've paid up to, whatever you owe." So it's like, let's say it was 200 for the year. They're charging me monthly till it adds up to 200. But if I cancel early, they're still going to make me pay for it. The
Wow.
difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that stinks.
Um, and
What
Gil
else do you have on tap?
and Gilnack, when is your have you planned your next trip? I know you were working on that, so I was just wondering if you had cemented that or not. Um, that was really all I had. That was really all I
I
had.
thought you had news.
No, it was kind of what the parks are doing.
Okay. Willy-nilly. Okay, so we have inside the parks, huh?
Yeah, we'll go in. We'll go inside the parks. If I can find it. Yeah, it's around here somewhere.
Disney Dean is going to be here on the 28th. All right.
Really?
Oh, I think it's a quick girls trip or something. She was
Uh,
saying.
okay, got it. All right, let's go inside the parks.
I would like to start this segment with where was I? How far back are we going? Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, we're going to start on the Wednesdays, right? Because Wednesdays and Thursdays were very special, not only for what we did, but if USC Greg is still watching or listening on the replay at this point, got to hang out with Greg and his daughter Eve over the course of those 2 nights and had an amazing time. It was really fun to spend some one-on-one time with Greg on Wednesday. I'll always remember that. It was good. And we did extra magic hours. And I have to say, I didn't really set out to do that live stream teaching as much as I like to with special events. Like, this is how you want to do it. But if you want to know how to do Hollywood Studios for extra magic hours for only 2 hours, well, we got started a little bit sooner. but we really maximized our time. Maybe not in this particular order, but we did Rise of the Resistance twice as a walk-on, and then we did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway 3 times, Tower of Terror twice. Everything we did was twice, at least. So and it was casual. It wasn't rushing from one thing to the next. The only complaint I would have about extra magic hours is, and we say this about the parks too, if you're gonna have not food booths, I shouldn't say that because that's more of Epcot and festivals, but if you're gonna have these kiosks where you're selling num cookies or you're selling popcorn, Mickey bars, things like that, you have to have several of these open until the park is closed and not a minute sooner. You just can't. I mean, people might want something at that time. So, you know, I just think that you gotta have some outlets open until it's over. I think when Greg and I wanted to go to the Num Num Cookie, I could be wrong, but I felt like there was at least 30 minutes to an hour left to go in the night, and we couldn't get that Num Num Cookie. And even more importantly, I wanted to get the alien zipper. Thought it was pretty cool. So, just a little side thing. Every park, they close a lot of that stuff down way too early. If the park is open, it should be open. Um, so did I miss anything from Wednesdays at all with
Um,
Hollywood?
that was pretty much the basis of it. Definitely like being able to do Terra twice, going back to back. Um, Added in Slinky Dog. I mean, you really were able to hit a good amount of the big rides for sure. Maybe you didn't do Alien Swirling Saucer, but you hit all the big rides and multiple times. So I thought that was a really really good night. Yeah.
Yeah, great night for sure. And the following night was Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And it was different for me because you know me, I always go in with a pretty concrete plan and we kind of follow it to the T. We know what we want to do. If we have to veer a little bit, we do, but we make sure we hit everything. And I'm really concentrated on showing the viewers how to do that party. And
Mm,
it works because Greg told me uh, that he had gone to the party a few days before on that Sunday, and he learned from what we did so well, he didn't really care how the night went on Thursday, which is why we went in with the casual approach.
mhm.
I said, "Okay, what do you wanna do? You've invited me, so, um, I wanna adhere to what you're doing or what you wanna do. I wanna make sure you get to do what you wanna do. For me in the channel, I just wanna make sure that we get both parades in and the fireworks. Like, that's a must for me if I can request that." And he was like, "Yeah, man, whatever you wanna get done." So, we did that, and we even got on Tiana's as a walk-on, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So we did that party casually, and we did both parades. Even right, we got off Tiana's, and it was iffy because it was slow getting off of Tiana's for whatever reason. There was a log jam, ha ha ha, and we got off, and the parade was starting. As you weren't even off Tiana property yet, and you could hear boo,
Mm,
two, you, and I was like, "Oh, shoot." But we were able to find an open spot for the second parade out there, in Frontierland. It wasn't that hard. We had
yeah.
a beautiful viewing spot, and, very happy for that. And I went on Greg's suggestion about the candy. So, anybody that watched saw that we really didn't hit trick or treat spots
Mhm.
very much. But at the very end, we had the most amazing cast members. We walked into Monsters Incorporated, and I started to go down the hall, and there was 4 or 5 cast members, and they had such great energy. They were like, "Hey." So I held my bag up and I said, "Who is ready to fill this bag?" And they were fighting. They were fighting for it. So one of the cast members like, "Just put it in the barrel." and the barrel is where they fill all the candy up and they scoop it. I tried to show it on camera. It may have lagged a moment there, but they scooped and scooped, and then one of the girls pushed her hand into it to compact it more, and then filled it more till it just overflowed. That's how you trick or treat at Magic Kingdom. So I'll try that again next time because it gives you a chance to just kind of do everything else.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like the candy's different from one place to the other. You know, it's
Good point. Good point. Right.
the same everywhere. It's a great mix. I'm not saying it's not a good mix. It's a good mix of candy, but it's the same. You go to PhilharMagic, you go to Monsters Inc., you go to give me another one, Carousel of Progress,
Liberty Tree. Yeah. Harbor House.
Country Bears. Was Country Bears a trick or treat spot this year, or did it go back to the show?
No. No, it's back to the show.
Okay,
Probably because it's a new show, But
probably.
Harbor House has one.
Harbor House. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of spots, but they're really all the same mix. So that's a great tip. Go at the end of the night. And the reason for that is they cannot take any of that candy and use it the next day. They have to use sealed. It's just their policy. So they have to open sealed cases the next day. So they've got to get rid of any candy that's left. So great tip. Go right at the end of the night and just, be exuberant with the cast members and have some fun, and they will fill up your bag for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you make that point, because it's not like you're taking advantage of anything or whatever, it's,
Right.
because, hey, fill this up, and someone's going to miss out for the next party. They have to get rid of that candy. So they're happy to just dump what they have into
Yeah.
your bag.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we saw the midnight show once again of Hocus Pocus. I always suggest saving that last show because you're not missing anything at midnight besides that show. So why clog that show up with something else you could be doing during the night?
Yeah. Exactly right. And that's how I did it the first time I went, and I'm guessing it was because I saw you do it that way. But I'm always one similar to Phantasmic. Last night, was that last night? Yeah, last night.
Yes.
Going to Phantasmic at 9:30 after the park closes. Right? Why go to the 8 o'clock show and use ride time when they're going to give you Phantasmic after the park closes? Psh, go to Phantasmic after that. So same thing with the Hocus Pocus show. Go to the midnight show. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And as a live streamer, when I'm looking at it for maximum time, I show up to the park late on a weeknight and I'm thinking of time. I'm thinking my time is worth it. If I can get at least 3.5 hours minimum out of a stream, then it makes my effort to get there and go home late at night worth it. And I went in thinking, man, I'm running late. So I'll start at 7. So that's 8, 9, 10, 10:30. I'm like, I can get 4 hours in tonight because Phantasmic starts at 9:30.
Yep.
Because you'll trickle out of there. Now it's 10:10, and then you can grab the last 20 minutes of shopping over there before it's time to go. So worked out to be a great night last night. Hung out with Shirley Renee and did single rider line again over there at Rise of the Resistance, which is, I'm so glad that that's back, especially during the week. I mean, you think about it with a single rider, right? If Rock and Roller Coaster is running that, which I am not sure if that's even back, single rider for Rock and Roller Coaster. And Rock and Roller Coaster is not one of my favorite rides. It's just too rough, but I will do it now and then.
Single rider wasn't open when we went. I don't know if it was just that time or if they are still not running it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you could get a lot done in a short period of time between 7 and 9 when you arrive late, because you could literally do Rise, Smugglers, Rock and Roller Coaster, 3 major rides, and then you can always at that point, later in the evening as you approach 9, you could sneak into Mickey and Minnie's and do okay with that. So you can get a good mix of stuff. So um, we tried 1440p on Saturdays, right? And would we say it had its ups and downs?
It did.
You know, it's all testing.
Yeah, I mean, and I just want to say that I want to thank all the viewers. Obviously, most of you that are watching the show now also watch the streams, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there with us when we are testing this stuff. Um, because I know, you know, Corey could just turn the camera on and go in 720, and most of you wouldn't, bat an eye, you'd be okay, and there would be no hiccups. And sometimes when you're testing this new stuff, there is going to be hiccups. Um, so we appreciate you hanging in there with us, because if we can test it to know what we need, what levers we need to pull, what buttons we need to push, that kind of stuff to bring you the best, um, then as we continue to tweak it, it will just continue to get better and better. So I appreciate everybody um, that watches during these testing periods and hangs in there with us.
Absolutely. And I like to tell you all about behind the scenes. You know, I go out of my mind sometimes, and I poor Lawrence, I bug him. I go, we're just gonna he's not gonna be my friend anymore after tonight. Because I'll message him while we're live, everybody, last night, and Lawrence, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'm seeing some video skipping. Are you seeing it? How's the audio with that? And poor Lawrence. And Lawrence was on a phone call last night while I was live. And so if he's running graphics and video back at the studio there, I will text him leading up to, say, Phantasmic, and I'll say, how about we remind people to subscribe to the family of channels, and then I'll lead into the Victor Naraki ad, and then we'll hit Phantasmic. And he wasn't answering me, and I'm like, And Lawrence has been known to take a nap during the stream here and there. And so finally I went to the group text that has Lawrence and Catherine and Tammy. I'm like, is Lawrence sleeping right now? I'm like, I can't believe 12 minutes has gone by, and I'm like, okay, I'll just do the ad. I'll just do it anyway, So I just did it. And he's like, oh, sorry, I was on a phone call. Life happens.
So this is the studio, so you all can see. So this is what runs the live streams. So move that out of the way. So like all these buttons, these are all lit buttons, and this is everything that controls this show today, but it also controls the live streams. So this, obviously I've got my Rodecaster and my nice monitor, plus another monitor over there on that side. So I'm running all this equipment. So Corey will say run something, and I've got to press a button to run this ad or that ad or switch cameras or stuff like that. So, and yes, it is.
Shirley says I'm not the only one that takes naps, and it is a Mookie Wilson.
It is Mookie.
It is a Mookie. Listen, he when we went on tonight before we went live, all I saw was that jersey from the front, and I'm like, look at the Mookie Wilson. It is a Mookie Wilson. I didn't know that, right?
I know. No, it is Mookie. Obviously, I mean, with my last name, Mookie was one of my favorites, and so yeah, I got this a while back. Yes, Goofy Guy. It's a 49-inch here, and then I have a 27-inch over there. So
Charlie Renee says Tammy always calls me out for napping. Yes, she does, and she also calls Krubaka out for napping, and Lawrence out for napping.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Steve Bullock says you have to polish the diamond.
That's the problem with having a sofa right there. It's just too convenient, and I'm like, he's on cruise control right now. I'll just go sit over there.
Yeah, just message me. Say, I'm going to nap for 30 minutes. If you see I'm waiting for rides or I'm eating dinner, all right, I'm going to go take a nap.
Well, I'll set my alarm. That's what I'll do. I'll set my alarm from now on.
Yeah.
But, so I wanted to, since we were talking about that real quick, I wanted to bring up something, because I don't know that everybody really realized what was happening the first time we did, multicam
with Luminous.
it was pretty interesting. Yeah, it was luminous. And let's see. See if I can share this. So this was the first time that we did luminous. I'm not going to play the music because we'll get copyright. So this was Corey's shot.
And that was Tammy's, right?
And this was, not the first time. I'm sorry. The second.
Second. Okay.
Yeah. So Corey's there. This was the night or 2 nights before Helene, maybe. And let me make this a little bit bigger. Oh, maybe not. And so I'm just sitting there watching it, and I thought that that the two cameras weren't in sync because I noticed something different. And then I messaged Corey, just to give you a little bit more behind the scenes. I messaged Corey and I'm like, hey, you're in B mode right now for Luminous. Do you want me to keep going and show the difference? And he was like, whatever you think. So I'm like, okay, well, the audience will never really get to see this again, to see the difference between the two shows. But I don't know that anybody really realized what was happening. So in Corey's shot, there are no perimeter, not the cannons, but the perimeter fireworks. Okay, so normally there's they kind of dance. See if I can do this correctly, maybe not. They kind of dance and you don't see them. They don't come off of the secondary barges, as I'll call them. Like you can see in that shot on the right, it's really bright because there's a lot of fireworks going off. In the left, you don't see that. So it was kind of cool to have that happening because we were using pre-recorded video for the second shot. There we go. For the second shot, but the one on the left was live. So you were getting B mode and A mode at the same time, side by side, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So, and then we did Saturday. There was no issue. They were both running in A mode, and it was good. But we're going to continue to do that. We'll give you different angles, certainly for Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After is the one that I've practiced the most. So that'll be
yes, fun. And we will do that a week from Saturday.
There you go.
Actually, I mean, well, yeah, most likely a week from Saturday. Definitely a week from Saturday. I was just debating if I wanted to do it on Wednesday prior to, but I may do Epcot instead.
See those that are going off right now, and then you can see on the left side, they are not there. So that's where you see the difference. Those perimeter shots were not there. See?
Yep.
Very, very cool. So, but the big ones were there. So I had a lot of fun. It's kind of cool to do that. Now this is my vision, right? Because I'm here running it. It's not it's not it's not like Corey saying, okay, switch to B, switch back to A, give me a side by side. Like it's just me in my studio running it. So it's kind of my vision. So if you ever see something, if you think that maybe I'm switching too many times or not enough, or, can we try this or that? Let us know. I mean, we do this show, the Diz Pod, Corey streams in the parks for all of you. So if there's something that you want to see, let us know. Make a comment on the stream afterwards. Email us. Just let us know because, I don't have all the ideas. Corey doesn't have all the ideas. I've only been doing this for less than 2 years. Corey's been doing it for 6 years, but you guys all watch. So you let us know if there's something you would like to see, and we'll certainly open to trying stuff as you can see. So
The last thing we can mention for Inside the Parks is Garden Grill. Had an amazing time with Shirley and Neil and Alyssa, and uh, we had some great character interactions for sure.
that was a lot of fun to watch.
Um, Good, good, good. The meal is amazing. Highly recommended to anybody. Uh, there's probably enough that they serve. I don't care how plain of an eater you are. This is like a family style that I think just about everybody can be happy with.
Mhm.
So they served a beautiful salad to start. Some black olives, some red onion, uh, greens, your lettuce, um, nice dressing, some croutons, and some cornbread, as well as some carrot sticks and some celery with probably some ranch dip. And then the next course came out, and it was mac and cheese with Mickey goldfish crackers on top. And the skillet that came out had green beans. It had zucchini, I believe, summer squash, turkey with gravy, and a nice beef as well, all sliced, mashed potatoes, if I didn't say that. So, and then it was like an apple cobbler or something like that for dessert. And then our wonderful cast member waitress came out with 2 glasses of root beer and 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream. She's like, "Who's up for some root beer floats?" And I was pretty full at that point, Garden Grill full, but I had to try that. Like a big kid. I'm like, "Ooh, root beer float. I don't care how full I am. I have to try that." So it's always a 5 out of 5 Mickeys over there. You cannot go wrong at the Garden Grill. If you're trying to decide, you're going to Epcot, there's so many choices. Definitely try Garden Grill sometime if you get the chance, because it was $71 with tip per person is how we figured it.
Mhm.
And it's a slow rotating restaurant. It's very, very unique. The scenery changes little by little, and you even go through the land ride or attraction. And you can get up, you can look over the wall and get a little closer to the action down there. You can see the boats going by. You see the buffalo, the prairie dogs. You see the house, which you can look in through the window, which is supposed to be Walt's house. Uh, and the characters. We saw Chip, we saw Dale, we saw Pluto, we saw Mickey, and they were great. They were great as always. And I think character interactions a lot of times are what you make of them. And the more you interact, I think they love it even more. It's not just your typical meeting, with
Yeah.
someone and they're on their way. I think they love it and they have a good time with it. And I ended up telling Mickey, did you go back and watch, or were you eating dinner or something like that? Because at some point, I don't know what came out of me, but I told Mickey that he needed to finally put a ring on Minnie's finger.
Oh, I was watching. I was watching. I almost did my little cameo where I come up on screen at that point.
Did Catherine see that part?
I had to go and tell her about it.
Nice.
Uh,
Okay, good.
yeah, I had to go and
Good,
tell
good, good.
her. That was pretty funny. I
Yeah.
love how the characters, they don't know us, they don't know our story, but they hear you, and so they play off of that. Well, I mean, Mickey just did a great job playing off of that. So that was awesome.
He really did.
Dianca, you're asking about your membership for the DizPod. Um, we haven't gotten to memberships yet. We hope to shortly. I think we're on pace probably by Thanksgiving or so to have memberships. So keep an eye
I
on that.
think what she means is she's used to being a member on Living in Diz. So
Okay.
even though it's us, it's a totally new channel. So as soon as we qualify, if you want to do that here too, there'll be unique emojis. It'll be totally different from living in Diz. So when I'm live in the park on Saturday, you should see your membership there.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that does make sense.
Yes.
That's what she was saying.
Yes. So we are doing this podcast tonight in the midst of a hurricane. It's happening outside. Let me listen. The rain and the winds are calm at the moment, but we have been worked some pretty good gusts of wind right now. And I just wanted to point out that Josh R in chat, we can just give an update because of it's actually happening now, and it is hitting the coast of Tampa. He says that Tampa Bay is flooding, South Tampa, but surge isn't as extreme as it could have been, and collective sigh of relief in his old town. But neighbors are losing power. So, see, that's good. It's dying down. It's dying down. It's less than they expected. And I think by the time it gets to us, they're expecting, like, I'm calling it a category 1.5. And I don't think we'll get over 60 miles an hour for winds. These houses are rated for like 150 miles an hour. So as long as there are no tornadoes that pop up, I think we'll be good to go as far as safety. And then we'll just have to assess what it looks like outside in the morning.
And do you have a lot of trees around or no?
So the house came with the house came with 4 trees. One in the front, which never really has grown that big. It's kind of one of those trees with a very small trunk. But we do have 3. We have a pine tree in the back, and I don't know what the other 2 trees are. They could be oaks, maybe, but they're still not super mature, I guess. They're about 8 years old. Tall enough, though, strong enough wind. I can't say that I wouldn't be worried that they'd hit one of these houses, one of the 4 it's surrounded by, but hopefully never. Because if that thing came backwards and we were in bed, you probably wouldn't talk to us ever again, to be honest. It's right there, just outside the bedroom, but hoping that's fine. So Dianca's asking something else. She said, it has me paying an extra fee for the DizPod. But we can't charge anything for the DizPod, though.
Unless she's on Patreon. If she means Patreon.
Oh, I forgot we had a Patreon.
Yeah. So it could be Patreon. Dianca, let us know if it's Patreon or if you're talking about YouTube memberships. And we can look into that.
I forgot we had that. How many members do we have? We have to shout out our members.
Jill Walkbritt.
All right. Whoop, whoop.
She was the first. So we appreciate
Fruitland Park is losing power, and they are about 20 minutes from us in newer homes, says Tammy.
Interesting. Interesting. Because that means that they're all buried. The lines are buried. So that you're always better there having buried lines rather than, telephone poles running electrical. That's interesting.
Yeah, our power lines are buried underground. Fruitland Park, there's a lot of places. There's a lot of lines that are above ground. I know that. I have a client in a newer community where I think that's all underground. But so hopefully she'll be okay.
Yeah, that's normally. Well, I know when we first moved here, like if the wind could blow at like 10 miles an hour, we would lose power. But knock on wood, we've been lucky so far. I am on battery backups, by the way, just so you know. Just for the show. Good. I literally have bought 2 battery backups, one for the studio running all of this, and then one in the closet where my router is. So outside of that, I have no power in the house. But if the power goes down, we are good.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
You know, gotta keep the show running. First time we ever ran it this way, I had a power surge, and it knocked the show down.
Yes.
That was not.
It's like they say in Tiki Birds, we got to start the show rolling.
Somebody wanted to come in and say hello.
Oh no, if I know who it is, it's not just going to be a hello. There it is.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather. Now, I have an update since you guys are not, you're talking Disney. So I know that Shirley is getting some wind and rain. So are we. It landed in Tampa as a category 3, which is way better than what they had expected, that it was going to be a 4. Not Tampa, I'm sorry. It's south of Tampa. So hopefully Tampa Bay was spared. That's good news. We are getting some wind and rain. I looked outside, but nothing really crazy at the moment. But it's not supposed to get here till later now. So we'll see what happens.
Neil, the storm, was it 2 years ago? That tore up the coast. Where was that? Was that south of Tampa? I cannot remember for the life of me where that was.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that was that tore up the Barrier Islands also, and it did some major damage.
Mm-hmm.
It did. Naples was
Naples.
messed up.
Yes, Naples.
The what are those that are gorgeous over there? They were overrun. The bridge was overrun, and they did their best to get the bridges to the Barrier Islands open, because they are beautiful there. They're beautiful places, but once again, it's good to see everybody, but this is unfortunately a kind of crazy moment right now.
Yeah. A lot of ups and downs in this, Neil. between the show not going on the way we wanted to.
Yeah, I know.
You've got Disney World closed for, how often does that happen? Our Mets just went to the championship series, and we've got a major hurricane going on. Like, how many ups and downs can we take in one show?
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're like literally doing
crazy.
it as it's happening.
Yeah. This is one we will never forget, right? Yeah, I'm
just in case anybody's watching it saying, that nobody cares about what's happening out there. That's absolute nonsense. At this moment, there is absolutely nothing that I can do more than I've done already for the last 4 days. We prepared as best as we can, took everything from upstairs and downstairs that was outside, from the gardens, heavy duty planters, everything is in the garage. So we have prepared. We went shopping. We have flashlights. We have candles. Right now, there's nothing we can do.
So what kind of preps did you do? You brought all the loose stuff inside, put in the garage, that kind of thing?
Everything. Yes. There is not a thing. We have a screened-in porch off our bedroom, and we have furniture out there. That was all brought into the garage. Luckily, we have a 3-car garage, so we only put 2 cars inside. So we put everything in that space. Brought everything down from there. Then the lanai, brought all the planters that were out on the porch. Brought in anything that might have been in the garden. There is nothing. Even our Gigantor barbecue is in our kitchen right now.
Gotcha.
There is nothing outside. You just have to be so careful for flying things in a storm like this. Very careful.
How long do you think it'll take to put everything back?
You know what? If it takes a few hours, it takes a few hours. Tomorrow morning, and be in a good scenario. I mean, it's crazy that it's happening at night for us. It's just, you can't see anything. It's the worst situation. Back in New York, Hurricane Sandy did the same thing.
Right.
We woke up the next morning and we were like, "Oh my goodness, what just happened?" You you hear it, you know it's happening, you're living it, uh, and you know all you could do is sit there and hope that you'll be okay and everybody else will be okay.
Yeah. Exactly. You just now
Yeah,
you
it,
done
it just it
prep.
just seems it
Yeah.
just seems like all these hurricanes in Florida hit during the night. I don't know if there's something to it. Whether I don't know, pressure changes, air changes, whatever it is, where if that's when it finally comes, it's able to come to land. I don't know, but it seems like it's more than a coincidence that they always hit at night and you can't see anything. That's the frustrating thing. You'd like to be awake the whole time and kind of monitor. Not that you can go out and do much, but at least you know.
There's a plant next to me, Captain Mickey Mouse. Hold on now, I'm looking for the plant. No, no, that is not a plant. Okay,
Louis?
so on you're looking at that. That is not Louis. That is from Universal, from Mardi Gras.
Oh, okay.
That's the alligator. That's the
Yeah.
Mardi Gras alligator, and he's got the beads on. And I've got another Universal. We got ET. He's a good pal.
Mhm.
This was this we got when you purchase something for over a certain amount of money. You were able to get ET for like whatever it was, $8.99. So we got ET, and this one here we just recently got, and I know Corey was talking about it. Uh,
Yeah.
this so we had seen it when it came out, and I said, you know what? The next time we come, I'll get it. And of course, it was gone. So they just got them back again. And I know Corey said it's a lot of money. I understand that. But how often can you get Panchito, Donald, and what's the last one? Come on, guys.
Oh gosh, I'm going blank.
Hey,
Point
Jose? Yeah.
Jose.
Jose.
Jose
Allison
Carioca.
Allison's holding out for the version where the duck has no clothes, where Donald has no clothes.
Right.
She's
Now,
holding
I
out for
just
that
saw
version.
somebody. What's up?
Oh, you're live right now.
Yes.
Thank you.
What do you need?
I was-
Oh, Lucas is ordering. Lawrence, he's ordering the Mets black jersey right now for the victory. The shirt. So, okay. So now Goofy Guy is talking about the islands. So you've got Sanibel, Amelia Island, and Siesta Key. All of these barrier islands right now. Now, look, unfortunately in life, you're put in a situation where, the people in Tampa Bay were probably praying that it would go south.
Sure.
Okay? Tampa Bay would have been destroyed. 10-foot storm surge, absolute destruction. Now, these folks that are in these other places, first of all, my heart is breaking for them. I saw the destruction of Helene. I just, you sit there and you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. You could send $100. You could send $1,000. If you're rich, you could send $1,000,000. But that money, it's going to take a long time to help these folks. And all we could do is think about them and hope that they'll be okay.
Mhm.
Captain Mickey Mouse, I will definitely say hi to Luke. I know he's not around a lot. He's not living here anymore. He's working, down south. He happens to be here right now because he came up and he was going to go back, and being a good son, he wanted to stay with his family through this. He could have been in a safer place. Hey, 86 JB, let's go Mets. He could have been in a safer place, and he chose to be with his folks. And you know what? What can I say? Of course, every few minutes I look at a list and I say I should have sent you, Lucas, and his girlfriend, to Miami and just sat here, or to my mom's in Fort Lauderdale, but they don't want to leave me, which is very nice. But I don't want anything to happen to my family. I'd much prefer it. Yeah, Corey, you know this area very well. So you see the red that's going on now, folks. Now, it's interesting. It's coming in waves. This is rain. This is rain. But there are some green points,
Mm-hmm.
and the green is good, because the green is certainly not intense rain, and that's what we need right now. Now, Alyssa just sent me something from the internet, from People News. Disney World is built to withstand some of the most destructive hurricanes. Here's how. So, if you want to look on Apple News, you could see how Disney World built itself to deal with what's happening here. And I know the map that we're looking at right now, Corey and I know very well.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of you don't know this area. The only reason I know going north is because I performed there, and I've driven as far as okay. You see, these bands are far out, but the cone shifted south, and the actual eye shifted south. Originally, that eye was coming over my house and the Magic Kingdom. Excuse me. Now, how do I feel about the people that it now shifted to more? I feel terrible for them. But there's also way less population down there.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of open farms and all that stuff. Finley has to wear blue and orange to school. It's unrelated, but totally works out. So she'll be decked in Mets gear tomorrow. Catherine, you tell her it's for the Mets.
It was so
That's
funny.
it.
We got an email about it. There's some organization that they're supporting, and so they have to wear blue and orange. And I'm like, are you kidding? That couldn't be any better. I'm sure Catherine, she'll probably let us know. I'm sure she's upstairs making her something right now. I'm pretty
Right.
I'm sure.
She's going to come in and rip the shirt off of my back so that she can go make this into a dress for Finley, probably.
Uh-huh. All right. So just so you know, I'm looking for who just said that about the green, Captain Mickey Mouse. So the green, just so you know, Captain Mickey Mouse, the red is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're looking at the NOAA site, which is the National Hurricane Center, purple is a bummer. And if you do live in an area with streams or rivers or big lakes, there could be flooding. I mean, right now, the whole area of Orlando is in purple for flooding. It's a flood alert. And hopefully it just won't get that bad. I mean, we won't know until tomorrow. Oh, your friends were evacuated from Venice, Sharon. Yeah, I mean, anything on the water is just, we made the decision to not go to either coast and go to the center. We were boaters, had a nice boat. Yeah, purple is worse than blue, Dina. Absolutely. So we had a boat. I chose, well, as a family, we chose to leave it back up in New York. I gave it to the place that I kept the boat at, and at the boatyard. I gave it to him, signed it over to him. Why? because tonight, not only would I have to worry about my family, but I would have to worry about a boat that was 29 feet, weighed thousands of pounds, possibly getting ripped off its mooring or wherever it was
Mhm.
and smashing into somebody's house. No, I mean, it's just too much. And I love boating. I love fishing. I was an avid fisherman back in New York. It's you know what? Sometimes you have to make these choices, and that's the way it is. But once again, all I'm doing is thinking about everybody. Oh, sorry. People are calling right now to see how we are. But you
Understandable.
know, yeah, this is a crazy time. I mean, the Mets win tonight. Lucas and I are going crazy in the house. Then I look outside, and my stomach is in my throat. It's kind of like, how do you deal with life's emotions? So many different things happen. And unfortunately, you got to figure out a way to deal with things.
Yep.
Is that a piano, Neil, behind you? Tell your son that does. No, no. The other son works for the cruise line, but no, there is no piano behind me. No piano behind me. Uh, that's a music stand. That's a music. This is my studio. There's a chair. As a matter of fact, I got this cool device right here, so that we can go like this.
Look at that.
There we go. And now the shelves and the books. Uh, a lot of it is music. I collected music books since I'm a little guy, and a lot of it is pictures, photo albums. This is the place where that stuff goes, on the second floor, away from harm's way. Hopefully, that's what you hope for. I
And
can't give you a full tour, Captain Mickey Mouse. No, that's boring. That's boring.
Corey, how much prepping did you have to do?
Really, we didn't do anything. We had just minimal things to bring in. We don't have patio furniture out there. We took a few things in from the garden, and that was it. Uh, our house is, so they say if your house is what, less than 10 years old or something like that, maybe a little bit older, that these new houses now that they're building are built for what is it, like 150 miles per hour at least, Neil. So they're cinder block homes and they're made for this kind of weather. So there was, and we have double pane windows, and our neighborhood, we're not in a flood zone, so we don't have to worry about flooding. And we're on the hospital grid, so this neighborhood has a 20 plus year uh, reputation of not losing power for any extended amount of time. So I guess we would say that we're very lucky that we don't have to do much prep. Uh, could you lose some shingles or something? Absolutely. There are tiny trees in this area, but you could still have some trees hit some homes. But you go a few blocks over and stay in this community. That's 20 plus years old, and they have more risk of debris and trees maybe falling there. But I haven't seen of any of the hurricanes we've experienced where they have those like big trees have fallen around the neighborhood either. So we've been pretty lucky, but I can say it's crazy about that fine line. I was telling Tammy, because I do home care, so I go to homes, I go out in the country further, I do things, and I saw all kinds of different prep for this, for
Mhm.
the different homes that I did visit. I would ask certain families, "Hey, do you expect to lose power?" And they'd say, "Absolutely." So, I'm seeing them board up windows. I was in a house yesterday. I didn't know if it was daytime or nighttime. I mean, I knew, but you wouldn't know once you're inside, because they had everything boarded up already, the bathtub's full and all the prep. And it's like, wow, it's really a fine line as to how much you have to do and how much, you don't have to do.
Yeah.
Right. See, now where Sharon lives, she lives in a condo like my mom. And Sharon, just so you know, uh, I've been thinking about you 1,000%, Sharon. You know, thinking about Shirley, thinking about Corey. Uh, you know, when things like this happen, it's not easy to digest. It's not easy to digest this stuff. It's intense. It's intense. And you know, I'll be honest with you, I haven't slept well the last couple of nights, and I don't know if I'll sleep at all tonight. You know, thinking I can grab a tree that might hit my house outside. You know, I'm like, of course I'm not going to do that, but this is what goes through your mind. It's very, very difficult. And I mean, I no, I'm not, I'm not one that sits here, looking to answers to anybody, any other higher power or whatever. I'm not going to say I'm praying for everybody or whatever, but in the end, my heart, and I'm sure everybody else's heart, is with all of you. Please be careful. I'm praying. I am praying that it's done some good stuff for us up here. It has. It's moved away a little bit, and it could have been disastrous, but we
Mhm.
don't know what's going to happen until tomorrow morning. And I will not make light of this. I've been speaking to people who are pilots and trying to get information, because, to tell you the truth, I'm freaking out. I'm being honest with you. I am freaking out. I spoke to Corey twice today. I'm freaking out. Yes, I've been through bad storms, but you know, everything we have is here. This is it. I mean, I don't even know what to think about the people who lose everything. Like Lawrence was saying, what happened to his place. It's just unimaginable to go through that. You know, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
And
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 just
yet,
be
Neil,
careful.
I talked about it. So what was weird is nobody was home, right? But I happened to be at work 25 minutes away when that hailstorm hit, and it was bright and sunny. I never experienced any of that. Catherine was on the flip side of that. She had just left and she was on the highway, had to pull in under trees, and was hearing this softball size hail hit the car, with a car full of people, including Finley, who's 3 months old. And she's experienced totally different than I am. And yet, what we went through is nothing like what we just saw in the mountains.
Right.
No,
Well, Lawrence, I do remember that you were still living back in New York, right?
no.
Or okay, because I do remember in Long Island, one, oh my God, one eventful day, the hail, same kind of hail, came out of nowhere, and anybody that was on the road driving their cars, their windshields, all the back and the front, were destroyed. It
Yep.
it, it made dents in people's roofs in their cars. I remember, because it happened to my sister. It happened to my sister. Her windows were destroyed.
Hmm.
Uh, it's Well, Sharon. You know what, Sharon? Uh, we're here for you. Don't feel like you're alone. And I'm sorry that you're alone, but we are here for you, in your our hearts, in our minds. If you need, to talk, you go on that mod chat
Yep.
and you just talk to us.
Yep.
Okay? I don't care what time of night. Just let us know that you're okay.
And that was
Yep,
Melissa, thank
absolutely.
you so much.
that
Yeah.
was part of the reason that we decided to do, the show tonight, is just so that, we knew that, we could all just talk and interact with each other. And Corey's in the middle of it, Neil's in the middle of it, but Sharon's like in it, and if we can give a little bit of a distraction for a couple hours, then it was worth it. I mean, I'm sitting here 500 plus miles away from it all, but I've got friends there, I've got family there. um you know, and I worry about all of them. I checked in with all my family, make sure, you know, they were prepared. I have an uncle who lives on a lake and he has a boat, you know, and he had to, you know, batten everything down. He's got a pool, so he had to do a lot of prep. I've got another uncle in the Orlando area that also has a pool and has a newer home. So probably not much chance of anything, you know, catastrophic happening. But you still check in with them. Checked in with all my friends that live down there, and everybody seemed to be good. So, but yeah, we worry about anybody in the path, you know, especially hearing, you know, some of the stuff like tornadoes happening and things like that. So
Yeah, well, and yes, Steve, I remember Sandy. We took a direct hit from Sandy. Where we live, we were lucky. Our house was on a big incline. Uh, Many of our friends lost their lower levels. There's no basements uh, where we lived in Long Island. In the South Shore of Long Island, we were only 1,000 yards from the water, and yeah, it was horrifying. It was a horrific thing. Absolutely. You'll never get used to this stuff.
now,
So now I'm gonna preach a second, and I'm going to say, like I've said on the live streams, if even if you don't believe that the things that humans do are helping to make these things worse, what is the big deal? Even if you're a non-believer, and I have no problem with that. Everybody has a right to believe what they want. But even if you're a non-believer, does it hurt to just try and do our part if it might help? If there's that inkling, that 0.5% chance that it might help, how can we turn our backs and say our comfort, our gas prices, or whatever else you want to think about is more important than what people are going through tonight? And that's the only preaching I'm going to do. That's it. I'm not going to preach anymore. All I'm saying is, you know, I remember a certain song said, I'm going to change the world. You know, a great singer guitarist did that one. I won't promote him, but I did play his brother's wedding and had him sing with our band. Change the world. It's not really hard. And I just when I see my friends and myself at risk, I say to myself, you know what? I'll sacrifice to not have that happen. I will sacrifice. And even if I'm wrong, does that matter? You know, if I'm wrong, does it make a darn difference? Because at least we know as human beings, we tried. We tried for our friends, we tried for our families, we tried for our children, we tried. Even if we fail, at least we go down fighting. That's the way I look at life. You got to fight until the last second, and keep fighting and have hope. So that's where I am. And Lily Bell's mom 21. We're doing all. Oh, there you go. We're doing okay here.
yeah, she was 30 minutes from the mountains and just now got power back in North
Wow.
Carolina, and that was a week ago. Um, so yeah, it's they found one of the uplifting stories, I guess. They found 200 people that were hunkered down in a church 6 days after the storm. You know, and they all kept each other, you know, motivated to to survive. and so they came out of that after they were found there. And there's been stories, pockets like that, and you don't realize. Like, I go to the mountains. It's Asheville, beautiful area up there. The Biltmore Estate, if anybody's been there, it's absolutely beautiful. House built in the late 1800s, on 8,000 acres. The home is the largest private home in America. And there were pictures that they posted, that Biltmore Estate posted, of the front gate entrance to the property, and the water line was at like 12 feet high, you know.
Well,
Um, and it's beautiful country out there. And obviously, where that is very touristy, very artsy area, Asheville is. But yet, you step 20 minutes from Asheville and it is mountainous. You've got people that own mountains, that live on the side of the mountains and stuff like that. And these folks were totally cut off from society. So, um, just praying that everything gets better for them. The highway I-40 that runs through there, they're saying may not be open until like next year. So yeah, some crazy, crazy weather stuff going on right now.
right.
And when people wonder why people like Corey and Kelly and Josh and all the streamers go to the parks, excuse me, I don't think people remember part of the reason for Disney is escapism. It's to get away from these crazy things that are happening and to be able to just put away your problems and go have some fun, go relive the memories and that kind of stuff. I walk down Main Street and I think about, the memories that we've created with Finley on her 4th birthday. She's taken the picture in front of the castle with a big 4. And I remember the pictures with my mom in front of the castle when I was 7, 8, something like that. With my grandmother, when they surprised me with a trip when I graduated 8th grade. My aunt, Doreen, and my grandmother took me to Disney World. That was the first time I stayed at Caribbean Beach. Um, and that was in 1990. And so you just remember that stuff. And that's what, to me, that's what Disney is. And that's why, like, I'm very grateful that I became part of this community, and started going to the parks again in 2020. So it's been a shorter, secondary time for me. It's only been 4 years, but there's a lot of memories made in those 4 years. I mean, these other two guys on the screen, huge part of my life now, and I have Disney to thank for that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. We're lucky in a lot of ways. I see folks. Listen, I thank you for thinking I'm a positive person. I'm a little older than most of you. I've been through a ton in my life. Uh, I've I've messed up and learned. I will say the one thing I do know is that when I mess up, I learn from it, and I won't make that same mistake again. And Angie, we know you very well, and you're right. Faith in the human spirit will prevail. And you know what? It's just, you know what? It goes hand in hand with you know going into Disney World, and having fun or whatever. It's you know what? I guess for some people it uplifts your spirit because the world can be a tough place. And for those who disagree and say, "Oh, look what you're doing. It's for children. How can you do this? You're a grown up." You know what? We all got our thing that makes us feel better. What the heck is the difference what it is? As long as you've got something, right? You know, it, if you've got something, I mean, so some people it's going outside and throwing a baseball, shooting some basketball hoops. Uh, you know, we all got something. So what if it's Mickey Mouse? I wonder if, for the folks who get down on us for doing it, it's like really? I'm not mad at you if you like building models. I'm not mad at you if you like, you know, jumping rope or spending 10 hours a day in the gym pumping iron. What is the difference if what we like is to go into a theme park? Yeah, yeah, it's fake. Okay, it's fake. Whatever. But it's our fake and we like it. What is the difference? You know, and then you know what? You don't have to bless me, you don't have to do anything. What you need to do is to find your thing and be happy. Be happy. Be true to yourself and be happy. If that place that makes you happy is Disney World, then by all means, do it. If it's going to the movies, then go to the movies. Find your thing. But mad at somebody because their thing is not your thing. That's silly. Now, just a little update. I just looked at what's happening here, and this is. I mean, look. I know the other day, uh, Orlando, the Orlando area. Shirley, I'm talking to you now. Was saying 8 to 12 inches of rain. It is now between green and yellow. Green and yellow means between 2 to 6 inches of rain.
Wow.
So
Could it could be
listen,
a lot worse.
LW, I'm going to tell you this right now. And you're all watching this. I am not a faker. I have been freaking out for 3 days. Whatever good news is showing up here, you have no idea how thankful I am. And I just hope for all our friends who are throughout this state who do not deserve this stuff, that they don't suffer. But boy, you want to know the ups and downs of life. I've been staring at this stupid phone, at this app, for days. My good friend USC Greg, when he was still here, warned me and was thinking about changing his flight to stay here longer because he thought the storm would get here because he had heard it from different people. Uh, I'll get to mom in a second. But this has been going on for days now. Please be thankful for those of you, if this skips you and does not harm you the way it was supposed to. We are just lucky. And never forget the people who it's affecting terribly right now because they do not deserve it. They do not deserve it. Hi, Dianca.
Yeah, nobody definitely doesn't.
Oh,
Nobody deserves this. That's well said. And
I'm muting.
before we went on, it really impacted me to see what I saw on the news, which was I'd been watching over the last couple of hours of learning how they look at maps and they identify tornadoes forming.
Hmm.
It's like they start to see this area and they were calling like I think the spin rate, and you have to add up I think it's like the outside wind of it and the inside wind of it, and if it equals 100 miles per hour, then you've got yourself a tornado.
Yeah.
So and then they cut into they said, okay, we've identified one, it's going through such and such a town. And then I feel like it was 30 minutes later, it blew through, like they showed video of it. And then they had a news crew on ground walking through the neighborhood and already walking through people's homes with no roofs,
Yeah.
just ripped through that neighborhood. And I was just like, 5 minutes ago, these people had a neighborhood and home, and now it's gone. It's
Yeah.
just amazing how quickly it can go. And Neil said it very well. It's like, we have a lot of people that watch us, a lot of people that are concerned. And I never wanted to sound like I was downplaying this so much. I have some experience with this now, so watching the storm and what the predictions were, I wasn't as worried as Neil was, because I kind of, if it went the way they said, I knew that we'd be okay. So far, we are okay. Um, but I also recognize that we are very, very lucky to be in the position we are, where the storm shifted. Um, but I never want to sound, when I answer that, you asked me too, did you prepare much? Well, no, we're just in a situation lucky enough that we don't have to do as much as others.
Mhm.
And I don't take that for granted, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all react differently. Sorry about the phone call. That was my mother, who is, in South Florida, and she's very concerned about us, and we're
Absolutely.
concerned about her. Everybody deals with things differently. I will be honest with you. My whole life I dealt with crisis intervention. I was the best at it in schools in the city of New York, and I'm not patting myself on the back. It's a reality. Uh, and you know, I will tell you that you get great at dealing with situations, but sometimes the more you deal with rough situations, uh, you kind of, oh my God, I guess it's like, I don't want to compare myself to somebody who was, in a battle, you know, fighting for our country and coming back and has a difficult time. No. But when you spend so many years defusing problems and not thinking about your own safety, there does come a point later on in life where, you know, it gets tougher to do that. And you think more about, I guess, you know, what might happen. I didn't never thought about what would happen when I ran into a fight, in a school. I never thought about it. I just did it. It was sheer instinct. Boom, you go. But when you have a family, you're a little bit older, and you're thinking about, darn, I should have sent my wife and my kids down away from this. You're like, what? It's not like the reactions that I had at work. At work, I was able to do in a split second, know what the right thing was to do. And now it's not that easy. It's not as easy anymore. Maybe I've gotten soft. I'm a softie. I'll admit it. I'm a softie. I'm affected more emotionally today than I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I am. And you know what? Maybe it's just getting older. I don't know. Uh, but definitely worry more about things today than back then. And Corey deals with things his way, and Lawrence deals with things his way, and Tiger Girl and Allison and Bianca, Captain Mickey Mouse, Shirley, Angie, Benjamin, you all, Sir Leo, you've all got your way of handling a situation. Some people get nervous. I mean, I'll admit it. This is nerve wracking to me. I'm talking to all of you, but I'm sure you could see I'm nervous as heck. And you never see me nervous in the parks.
Oh, yes, we do. It's called Splash Mountain.
Ah, that's fun
But
nervous.
I know, but I can say this. I learned from that, because I came home yesterday and I told Tammy, I said, Neil is legitimately worried about this. I said, he's really worried. And I said in the park last night, and I hope you didn't take it as a joke, when I said, Neil, I will make sure I stay in contact with you over the next few days.
No,
Um,
I was very happy that you said that. I mean, talking about it certainly a help.
yeah. And, you know, uh, behind the scenes, like Neil said, people handle things in different ways. Neil has become such an absolute family member to us. I don't even think calling him a friend, he and Alyssa, is even worse. It's more than that. Neil has talked with me, of things that happen in my life, and he's been so impactful. Neil's the guy to run to for certain things, and just to listen. The way he talks to all of you, he talks to me plenty off. And I hope I was able to return that favor to Neil today, at least a little bit, the 0.5%, return on all he does for me. I was definitely trying to be there for you and help you with that.
Yes. And look, it's 9:53 p.m. I'm going to let the guys do their thing. Uh, so I am going to say goodnight to all of you. Wish you a wonderful night. Uh, Hopefully, everything will be back to normal for Corey and his family to go on Saturday. And you'll all have a wonderful stream. Alyssa and I will not be there. We have a holiday. So we can't be there. But once that holiday is over, we'll go back to our normal schlepping around and having some fun with Corey. And
Yes.
just once again, Shirley, Sharon, please stay positive, and we're with you. We're with you. Thank you, Steve. All right, Greg. Take care, everybody. I'm going to let the guys talk to you and have fun. I'm going to go call up my family because the phone is ringing off. And while I still have phone service, I want to let them know that Alyssa, myself, my son, his lady, our two cats, and our bunny are okay.
Neil, tell
All right.
everybody
Awesome.
hello.
A pleasure. And Lawrence, let's go Mets.
I'm telling you, if I could have found the chant real quick, I'd have put it up during the show, but I couldn't find it. So
yes,
that's
and
okay.
and I know a couple of you were asking me to play something on the trumpet. I can't play something on the trumpet right now. It'll another time I'll do that for you. So take care. Bye bye.
Appreciate it. Oh, good old Neil. All right. Do you want to talk about our sponsor and then we can head out?
I absolutely do. If you're looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard, it's Victor Naraki. He is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate, LLC, and he is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the Disney area home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit celebratingflorida.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with Victor today. Your dream home is just a click away. And if you go to Victor's YouTube channel at Victor Naraki, all one word, you can even check that out on the Living in Diz channel. Any video, the description, it's in there. And if he gets 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year, he will donate $1,000 to Give Kids the World. So it's a free way for you to help feel like you donated a piece to Give Kids the World, where all you had to do is subscribe.
Love it. Love it. So I will say, yeah, we've talked quite a bit today for a stream. We didn't know what we were going to do. We had some fun, had some words of wisdom, had some ups, some downs. And I got to share that my Mets are going to the championship series with you live on TV. How the heck does that happen? If you guys ever want to see how the Mets won their last World Series in '86, just let me know. I'll be happy to throw
Oh, that doesn't exist.
I'll be happy to throw that on for you. Okay, real quickly, Finley wanted me to share something, and I'll end there. I have not seen this, so Lord help us. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it.
Daddy, I wish I could say that I love your podcast.
Wow.
Well, there you go. The video didn't come up, but yes. So she sent me a message while she was going to sleep, that she loves the
That
podcast.
is very, very sweet.
Something about her. You know, she started a channel. I don't think I told you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has a YouTube channel now. So I thought it was going to be something about that, but no.
There you go. I saw her practicing in the past, so she's ready to go.
Yeah.
You can never start too soon. Never start too soon. Thank you all so much for joining us, everybody. We do it live because we do it for you, and we equally appreciate all of you that listen on the playbacks, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, wherever you can find podcasts. You can pretty much find the Diz Pod, and we appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to the Diz Pod actually on YouTube and you listen on Spotify or something, please just go over and just subscribe to that so we can build this up, so we can get out some memberships for everyone that wants to do that, and continue to grow this channel. And check out our family of channels at Magical Strolls, all one word, at Living in Diz, all one word. They all serve different purposes for Disney content, right? I mean, it's been very nicely divided now. The Diz Pod does the podcast. Living in Diz does weekly vlogs and live streams from the parks. Magical Strolls is if you want to see a certain ride POV version, you can watch that in 4K. You want to watch a stroll around Art of Animation someday, you just pop it on and you watch it. We'll continue to feed the content there. The channel is new. I would say by tomorrow morning or so, the newest video that is popping up on Magical Strolls is a POV. What do you think it is, Lawrence?
Caribbean Beach.
Right? Listen, Caribbean Beach is in the can. It is coming. It is coming. And Jacob goes, Dad, how are you going to do that one? And keep it to like 30 minutes. I was like, I'm just going to do a portion.
Yeah.
I did one side. That's all you need to see. Hey,
Okay.
but that gives me a chance to go back, right? We'll do the other side.
That's right. What is tomorrow?
So actually, we have two. This is weird. We have 2 vlogs dropping on 2 out of 3 of the channels. LID is dropping the Bar Riva at 5:48 p.m. Eastern Time on Living in Diz. Check that out. It's my review of a burger over at the pool bar at Disney's Riviera Resort. Is it the best burger on property? You'll have to tune in to see if it is. And I will show you 3 special things about the Riviera that you may have never known about. And over on Magical Strolls in the morning, we will be releasing, what do you call it? The Lightning McQueen show.
Oh, right. Got it.
I held on to that one. You can't see it anymore, so you're
Right.
gonna have to watch it on YouTube. So you'll see it in 4K quality, and that'll be on Magical Strolls tomorrow.
Lightning McQueen Racing Academy.
Yes.
Yes. I just realized something too, totally off the wall. This is also the first time I've worn a hat on the show.
And I have before.
And you have, yes. Yeah. So
How about that?
First time I wore a hat. Yes, these are my Mickey Mets ears that were made by Christina, Nick's fiance.
I should have combated that with my Red Sox one, but it wouldn't really have helped.
It wouldn't have helped.
I have to say, did anybody else notice that the lights behind Lawrence are orange and blue?
And I had turned up my camera a little bit so that you could see the blue more. Yes, orange and blue.
I just realized it.
Yep. Told you I was all
I'm
Metsed out the last couple days, so very excited.
I'm glad I recognized the effort. I'm glad I did. Well, it's always a pleasure. What?
Had I had time, I would have programmed it so that when they won, the lights dance blue and orange back and forth. But yeah,
Nice.
I'll save that for the next one.
Yes. So, yep, I'm glad that you all joined us live. I did think it was important to be live while this was happening because you all would know for sure that we were doing fine. I will, in the morning, I'll look for a post on Living in Diz. I will post an update as to how it went overnight and how we are. And that way you will be up to date on that as well.
And for those of you watching, if you've made it all the way through this show, give yourself 38.2 points for making it all the way through the show with us. We appreciate it.
I'd give him 50.6 just because it was a hurricane edition.
There you go. There you go. Bonus points. No,
There
we
you go.
really appreciate it. Actually, we should give them 86 points because that's when the Mets won the World Series. Just saying.
Oh no.
No, we do appreciate it. And really it means the world to us that you all were here watching with us. So thank you all. Corey will be live Saturday from
Hollywood Studios.
There you go. Hollywood Studios. Vlogs coming out tomorrow on Magical Strolls in the Morning. Living in Diz at 5:48 p.m.
And it will be a premiere.
It will be a premiere, so you can chat there with each other. And man, I'm going to have to make this into a short or something just so that the DizPod has something coming out tomorrow too.
I know, right? I mean, yeah, I got to come up with a schedule. I will have some time off tomorrow, at least for a little bit, and then decide if I want to go out and see some patients at the end of the day. We'll see. But I'm going to spend my morning trying to load in Magical Strolls. I showed Lawrence, there's so much content for Magical Strolls. I would love to load it all in. I probably have 10 walkthroughs and 10 rides to load in. And I would, that, if you do one POV and one walkthrough a week, or I don't know if I should do a couple and really get them in there. That channel can just be self-sufficient for weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't have to do anything. Just let it release it on its scheduled times. And that's a cool thing.
So I have toyed. I haven't spoken to Corey about this, but I have toyed with the idea of doing depending on the weather, doing a home stream tomorrow. Finley's wanted to be on the show again since we don't do the members only podcast. So maybe we'll do something little laid back tomorrow, depending on what the weather is tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll throw something in there for you guys.
All right.
All right. Thank you all for watching. I'm not going to give any words of wisdom tonight because I think Neil said it all.
He certainly did. So until then, we're just a couple of bros talking Disney.
We will see you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to happen.